Hello, good
Hi,
afternoon.
good afternoon. Welcome on behalf of AMTV. Welcome to Zoom Chit Chat. Today we have in our Zoom we have a guest from the Malaysian Students Council of Australia, Samantha Go, the Victoria chapter. I need to mention it. Victoria chapter president, Samantha Go. How are you, Samantha?
Good, thank you. How are you?
All right, good. Now, just let me find out from you. You are still doing your studies, right? The semester is still going on. So, what's the mode of study now?
Mode of study right now is all online. So for the rest of this semester, assessment and teachings are going to be completely online.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, how do you find it?
Well, it's not that bad. We are still getting an education, but it's not as good as face-to-face education, I would still say.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Now, let's just jump into today's topic. We're gonna talk about a few fun initiatives. Yeah, three of them to be exact. But before I go into that, let the viewers know. First of all, when is Masca, which stands for Malaysian Students Council of Australia, in short, Masca? When is it established? Could you tell us about this?
Yeah. So Masca stands for, as you said, the Malaysian Students Council of Australia, and it was established in 2003. Right. So some details about Masca is that we are a student body dedicated to promoting and protecting the interests and welfare of Malaysian students here in Australia, and for the Victoria chapter specifically, the same goal, but for the state of Victoria.
So you have the national level, you have the state level.
Right. So if you like a bit more structure, there is essentially something like three levels. So there's a big one, Masca National, which comprises of 7 states. So Victoria, Queensland, Tasmania, etc., etc. As well as filtering down from that, there'll be the states itself. And in each state, there are MSOs, which stands for Malaysian Student Organizations. So these are the bodies that are based in universities and things like that, where they are most on the ground and have most direct contact with students.
All right. I think it's good to understand this structure so that people who want to get in touch with Masca, they know where is the entry point. All right. What's the mission of organization like this, such as Masca?
Yeah, so the purpose was to promote and protect the welfare and interests of Malaysian students here in Australia. So that was the main main goal. And how we do that is by basically we provide like a point of contact for any issues that students may face. And we usually have events as well. So cultural events, sporting events, intellectual, career-wise, charity-wise. Some of these are the main events that we hold to promote the Malaysian spirit in our case, Victoria as well.
All right. Now we understand Masca on a national level recently started this crowdfunding initiative. The aim is to create, that's what I read in the Facebook, a contingency fund for the Malaysian students affected by the COVID-19. So how is this fund used?
Okay, so the fund has been collected and is on the donations from the public. It's the very kind donations from the public. So how they're used is that any student can apply for them. They just need to fill up a form that has been dispersed by Masca National, citing relevant financial difficulties or things that they need like urgent money for. So what happens is that Masca National will vet the student and verify the circumstances the student is facing. And if everything checks out, the student may receive money up to a certain cap. Every student across the whole of Australia can apply for it, but depending on which state you reside in, because of different factors such as like rent payments, grocery averages, and things like that, students from different states can receive up to a different maximum cap. But this kind of money can be used for emergency things like groceries, medicines, things like that.
All right. Now, while we are talking about this, let us just quickly share the screen. I just want to show the viewers the crowdfunding initiative, the poster. Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah, this is the poster. I think 2 days ago, the National came out with another poster, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the original one, isn't it?
Yes, this is original.
Can you see it?
Yep.
All right, good. Now I'll just come back to our conversation. So, all right, now. My next question is, I think you explained just now, is the criteria required to qualify for such a fund. Can you?
So like I mentioned just now, so basic criteria is that you have to be a Malaysian student. You need to be enrolled in a tertiary education institute in somewhere in Australia. It doesn't matter which state. And that you are in some form of financial crisis. I do not know specifically what kind of crises that students may be facing, but if in any case that you need emergency help, you can apply for this kind of emergency fund, and then your circumstance will be vetted accordingly.
Okay. My next question is who and how to contact Masca to seek help. I think just now the poster, we have the email address down there. Let me just quickly go to that one as well. Just quickly. So this, can you see it now?
Yep.
Yeah, so this poster here, there is a email address. So the students who want to seek help can actually contact or send their questions to this email address, right?
Of course.
Okay.
But a much more direct way is to actually message your state chapter's Facebook page. A lot more direct that way.
Yeah, okay. So that comes up to the structure we're talking about. The other day we were talking about what is it? The student organization in the respective university, isn't it? We call the Malaysian Student Organization in the university.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So that is crowdfunding. The other day we were in a conversation. There's another fund we're talking about. I actually did some research in the Education Malaysia Australia, EMA in Sydney, in their Facebook. There is this fund called the Grocery Funding Package.
Right.
Can you tell us more about this Grocery Funding Package by the Education Malaysia Australia, EMA?
Okay. So what EMA has done is that it has received a generous amount of money from the Ministry of Higher Education back in Malaysia, and this money is to be used for groceries for students here in Australia. So all states have received, all states are to receive a certain amount of money to be able to be used for groceries for the students in their state. So every state has a different kind of mechanism for doing it. For Victoria, what we're doing is that we're going to be dispersing care packs, which essentially is like a package containing essential groceries. So if you want to basically apply and get it, we are trying to get it out latest by the beginning of this coming week. So probably by the 11th of May, which is in 2 days, right? So any student can apply. You just need, the same criteria is that you need to be a Malaysian student, and you need to be a Malaysian student. You should be enrolled in a Victorian Tertiary Education Institute, and you should currently be residing in Victoria, not in Malaysia. Okay.
All right.
And so we'll release a form, and anybody can apply. And all we will do is that we'll basically just ask you a few simple questions to verify your financial need and things like that. And then if everything goes well, you'll be able to pick it up from an MSO representative nearest to where you live.
All right. So again, international students want to seek help, the same thing, the same kind of structures. You go to the Malaysia organizations, students organizations, and then to the state, and then that's how it goes, right?
Yeah. So the ideal way is always from MSO to state to national, because every stage will try to address the problem as best as they can first. But in terms of initiatives like this grocery funding package, which is Victoria-wide, if they like, they can come straight to Masca Victoria as well. That's fine.
Okay, good. All right, so that's the grocery funding package. Now we go on to the very interesting one, that is the Victoria Government Emergency Relief Fund. Before we continue the conversation, let us just share with the viewers some of the some of the newspaper that they actually came out talking about this fund, right? The first is
so basically about the whole the financial aid package that the state of Victoria is offering to international students. We are aware that it's something of that sort is being in the works. But as of this point in time, we really don't have any more extra information to offer beyond what is already available on the website. But once the details are released, you can be sure that we will take note of it and post it on our social media channels, as well as be available to answer questions if any of you have queries and things like that.
Now, from the newspaper article, this is a very huge fund. Victoria State Government announced 45 million International Students Emergency Relief Fund. And it's a one-off payment. I think it's like 1,100 Aussie dollars. That's a one-off payment. Okay. How the students, so like you said just now, when you get any news, will you post it to the Masca Facebook to let students know? So the contact is the same as the other two funds, right? You get into contact with the Malaysian student organizations or the Masca state level.
Right. Yeah. So our main contact, if you were to contact Masca Victoria, would always be just our Facebook page or our Instagram profile. Both channels are open and are usually very quickly answered. So you can contact us about anything really that pertains to your experience as a student, and we'll try and help you as best as we can.
All right. I think we have gone through the three funds. I think the most important thing I always emphasize is the organization structures, so that students know where to seek help from. My last question before we close this interview is, this is the questions that I think a lot of international students would like to ask is, due to the lockdown, many university students cannot attend the lectures. Some even stranded at their home countries. So are there any move by the universities to reduce semester fees? This is questions, maybe it's open up to debate, but maybe I'd like to hear your view about that.
I see. Okay, so I can't speak on behalf of a university, but the news for most universities now is that due to the recent, of course, of the pandemic, right, they have been forced to shift all their teachings and methods and assessments online. So because of that and the amount of effort it has taken, as well as the quality it has preserved, they maintain that semester fees and school fees are going to be maintained as per normal. That is of course of this semester. I am not sure about future semesters and how they will pan out, especially seeing as international students might be able to return to Australia in as early as July, according to the latest news. But I do understand the concern of international students that are a bit worried about whether to commit to another semester in Australia. And unfortunately, I can't offer any extra news or reassurance because everything is still very much a bit up in the air because we do not know the exact status of things like that right now.
It changes day by day, isn't it?
Right.
Okay. All right, Samantha, that's all we will say about today's topic. I think the other thing before we close this interview is I'd like to offer or like to mention it to Masca, whether is it on state level or national level, is that MTV is always a platform if you would like to seek help for students, international students, Malaysian international students in Victoria. So we are a platform you can actually post some of your questions or posters in our platform. So we welcome you to do that.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
I think one more thing we missed out just now is they also avenue for Malaysians to contribute to this at Masca crowdfunding, right? Poster here, can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the bank, Commonwealth Bank, the BSP, and the account number where Malaysian Community can actually contribute to this fund by sending money to this account, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, the link for the link for more information, bit.ly, is a bit out of date, so you can actually just go back down to the comments where Masca National has shared a new link, which is more functional.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is, after we close the interview, whatever we talk about in terms of the contact details or the new poster, I will post it into the comment section of this interview.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's it for today. Thank you for coming to our interview. It's good to have you. I'm sure we will talk again the next time.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.